welcome to another First Chapter Friday. Today's inspiration for this book that I chose is that it is the most popular horror book for the past 3 years. And that book, as you know from the thumbnail, is Hide and Seeker by Daka Hermon. I hope you enjoy. I do have to do 2 chapters because absolutely is necessary. The first chapter doesn't give you enough of the scare stuff to hook you. Okay? Chapter 1. Z never should have come back. Not like this. Limp blue balloons and crinkled streamers are tangled around the mailbox at the end of Z's driveway. I adjust my sweaty baseball cap and sigh. Not even the decorations are excited about his welcome home party. A fat gray cloud settles directly above the house. Shadows play across the tattered roof shingles, and trails of dirt, like black tears, streak the windows. I shiver as beads of sweat roll down the sides of my hot face. "Justin!" A voice screeches. I spin around. My friend Nia skips down the sidewalk carrying a small wrapped box. "Hey!" She skids to a halt. Her long braids flap out behind her like a superhero cape in the wind. She extends her fist and smiles so big her dimples bite into her chipmunk cheeks. Hey! I bump her knuckles with mine. I haven't seen her since we met up for the 4th of July fireworks last week. They're legal in Chattanooga, so the sky was lit up most of the night. "I love that shirt," she says. I study my wrinkled Star Wars t-shirt. Most of the design has faded. Only the outline of Darth Vader's helmet and the words, "I am," remain. Let me fill in the blank. "I am happy to see you," she says with a giggle. I roll my eyes and I point to the box she's holding. "What's that?" "A welcome home present for Z. New paintbrushes." She bites the corner of her lower lip. "It's from both of us. I figured you'd be thinking about other things." Yeah, my other things list is so long, I trip over it when I walk. I shift from foot to foot. Thanks. She stares at something over my shoulder. "That's the second one I've seen since I left my house." I turn. A police car cruises down the street. There's been a lot more patrols lately. "Come on." She tugs me up the driveway. I drag my feet. We're early, maybe 404 days, says Nia. "What?" "Z! He disappeared 404 days ago. It's been 1 year, 1 month, and 9 days since we've seen him. That's a long time." It's still fresh. I didn't think things could get any worse after Z went missing. But 7 days after that, I was proven wrong. I trip over my feet as Nia pulls me up the creaking porch steps. The front door flies open. Mrs. Murphy, Z's mom, stands in the doorway smiling like she's just won the Tennessee Mega Lottery. She didn't. "Y'all came. I wasn't sure. Zachariah's just gonna be so happy," says Mrs. Murphy. Z's real name is Zechariah Murphy. His mom named him after some prophet in the Bible. We call him Z because it's easier. And it sounds way cooler. No offense to the Bible guy. "How are you, sweetie? Your family okay?" The questions sprint out of Mrs. Murphy's mouth like they're in a 50-yard dash. Nia nods. "Yup, we're all good. We just got back from our family reunion." "Was it fun?" Mrs. Murphy asks, running her hand over Nia's long braids. "Yeah, I got to see my grandma," Nia says, with a heavy sigh. "She didn't remember me at first. My mom told me forgetting stuff can happen when you get old." "Oh, that's true," said Mrs. Murphy. "Well, I don't like it," says Nia. "I wish people didn't have to grow old. My grandma can't even move around that much. But we still had some fun. We played our favorite game, Did You Know?" "I'm glad you were able to spend some time with her," said Mrs. Murphy. "Yeah," Nia says quietly. Then she smiles. "It's not as bright as usual." Did you know about 96% of families create cool t-shirts for their family reunions? Mrs. Murphy shakes her head. I did not know that. Her dark hair swings back and forth, revealing chunks of new gray strands. Did your family make shirts? Nia snorts. Nope. We're part of the lame 4%. She holds up the present. We brought Z something, and it's not a t-shirt. You didn't have to do that, but I'm sure he'll love whatever it is. Mrs. Murphy pats Nia's cheek. And thank you for the care package. It means a lot. Care package? Great. I feel lower than gum on the bottom of a shoe. Since Z's been released from the hospital 2 weeks ago, I've only stopped by once to tie a welcome home balloon on the mailbox. I didn't even go inside to see him. Worst friend ever should be tattooed on my forehead in all caps. It's just, I didn't want to see him so messed up. Still don't. Mrs. Murphy turns to me. Hi, baby. She tugs me close. Air swooshes out of my lungs. A mom hug. 1 week after Z disappeared, my mom died. That means it's been 397 days since I've heard her voice, seen her smile, and felt her arms around me. I sink into Mrs. Murphy's round, soft body. She smells like flowers and chocolate, and for a moment, I can pretend she's mine, and then a tidal wave of sadness crashes over me. 397 days. I know Nia didn't mean to do it, but now I have a count stuck in my head. I've heard people say that losing someone doesn't hurt as much after a while. They're wrong. The pain's still there, but not so constant. I have sneak attacks. You feel okay for an hour or a day, and then bam, you experience the heartbreak all over. I wiggle free of Mrs. Murphy. Her piercing gaze roams over my face. I pretend not to notice the puffiness under her tired eyes. How you doing? She asks. I slide my hat back over my short locks. I'm good. With a weak smile, she straightens her loose dress. I want to thank you again for taking out my trash and cutting the grass while Zachariah was gone all that time. You were dealing with... I had to mow other lawns anyway, and I didn't mind helping you out, I say. Z would have done the same for me. Mrs. Murphy squeezes my shoulder. I'm sorry. I wasn't able to be there for you when your mom... It's fine. My chest tightens. I stuff my trembling hand into the right back pocket of my jeans, and I clutch a knobby puzzle piece. After several deep breaths, the pain in my chest eases. I told Z about your mom, she says softly. I bite the inside of my cheek. How did he... Was he okay? Another person he loved was gone. Z's dad died in a car accident when he was 4. Mrs. Murphy blinks hard, and I hope she doesn't start crying. I couldn't handle that. It's been hard for him. Everything's hard right now. I nod. That's another reason why his disappearance was so strange. He'd never miss it on purpose. When Z was gone, I always had this feeling he was close, but She swallows hard. Yeah, I get it. Sometimes it was like Z was right beside me, like I sensed his presence, but I think it was because I missed him so much. You never gave up, she says. You said he'd come back, and you were right. Mrs. Murphy gestures for us to enter. I step inside the house. My feet hit shattered picture frames propped up near the doorway. A dirty sheet covers the hardwood floor, and 2 paint cans sit by the couch. Leaning against a chair, there's a large canvas forest painting with a slash mark down the middle. My eyes travel over the walls. Dark smudges and deep scratches are visible underneath the new layer of white paint. I shudder as a chill tiptoes up and down my spine. Sorry about the mess. I haven't had time to straighten up, Mrs. Murphy says. I've been busy. Mrs. Murphy has always kept a clean house. This isn't like needing to dust or vacuum. The living room isn't dirty. It's damaged. You, redecorating? Nia glanced around. Z, he's adjusting to being home again, Mrs. Murphy says as she smooths out invisible wrinkles in her dress. There are scratches all down her arms. She catches me staring and slides her hands into her pockets. I lower my gaze. What happened to her? Would Z? No, he never hurt his mama. Not on purpose. Nia side-eyes me. Is everything okay, Mrs. Murphy? Yes, of course A loud buzzer sound causes us all to jump. Oh, that's just the stove. The cake is ready, said Mrs. Murphy. I dry my sweaty hands on my jeans. My heart is racing, and I'm not sure why. I knew I smelled sweetness, Nia smiles. But it's too bright, not real. Chocolate Coca-Cola cake, Mrs. Murphy says, closing the front door behind us. Soda in a cake? That's brilliant, says Nia. And I'm madly in love with chocolate. It's my favorite food group, top of the pyramid. I'll make sure you get an extra big piece to take home. And Justin, I'll pack up a slice for Victoria, says Mrs. Murphy. Thanks. My sister loves Coca-Cola cake. My mom used to make it all the time. Why don't you all head back? Mrs. Murphy directs us to the kitchen back door. I hesitate, glancing over my shoulder at the mess in the living room. Are you sure everything's all right? Her eyes shift quickly from me as she chews on her bottom lip. This party will be good for Z. He needs to be around his friends. He's a little nervous to see everyone. Nia and I exchange a startled look. Is Mrs. Murphy saying Z made this mess? What is going on? It's fine, I promise, Mrs. Murphy says with extra cheer. Everyone will have a great time. She stares. Her eyes are pleading for us to agree. I have so many questions rattling around in my head, but I don't feel like I can ask them. We can't wait to see Z. We'll have fun, Nia says. I nod, but I'm worried. Something is not right. Lyric's already here, Mrs. Murphy urges us toward the back door. He wants to provide the musical entertainment. Nia groans. I laugh weakly. This could be interesting. He brought his harmonica, didn't he? Nia asks. Mrs. Murphy nods, her expression pained. I got a preview. He is better. Lyric loves music, and he plays lots of instruments, just not well. But I give him big props for his dedication. The tables are all set up. I'll bring some more snacks out in a little while, Mrs. Murphy says as Nia walks out the back door. I glance down the hall toward Z's bedroom. 3 gold deadbolts on the outside of his door catch my eye. My gaze darts toward Mrs. Murphy. What? She twists her hands. Z's not himself yet. He still has some rough nights, nightmares and sleepwalking. I don't want him getting out and hurting himself. I gulp. Z isn't getting better. Nobody knows why he disappeared over a year ago, and now he's turned up miles from home, wandering in the woods and covered in scars, and Z can't explain what happened. He'll be okay, I say, because she needs encouragement. So do I. Mrs. Murphy blinks back tears and smiles. Justin, Nia yells. With one last look down the hall at the door, dead-bolted shut, I hurry outside to see Lyric hunched over a table, shoveling food into his mouth. His mountain of wild curls casts a large shadow across the bowls of snacks. Though we're all heading into the 6th grade, he's almost a foot taller because of his supersized blonde hair. He smiles. Popcorn kernels are wedged between the gaps of his teeth. Sup, y'all? Way to roll up late and stuff. The party invite said Friday at 4 p.m. Nia removes her phone from her back pocket and glances at the screen. It's 4:07. I was here at 3:45, Lyric says. Nia sticks out her tongue. What, Ev? You just came early for the food. True. I glance around. No Z. Hey, man, Lyric says, jolting me out of my troubled thoughts. He extends his fist. I bump it with mine. Lyric is the only white kid in our neighborhood. His family moved here right before we started first grade, and we've been tight ever since. The Fantastic Four. That's what we call ourselves. Me, Nia, Lyric, and Z. We were together so much our families joked that we shared the same brain. Well, until my mom got sick and Z disappeared. Nia sets our present down on the table next to a small object wrapped with newspaper and duct tape. What's that? I point to Lyric's gift. An awesomely great surprise for Z. Lyric chomps on some candy. No peeking, he says, when Nia tries to expect. It's a harmonica, she says with a confident smile. Lyric throws up his hands. How do you know that? You called me after you found it at that thrift store. You went on and on about how the music makes everything better, how your harmonica, the one that you carry around with you everywhere, is the best gift that you ever received, how one day when you're a famous musician, you're gonna, okay, ruiner of welcome home surprises, Lyric grumbles. Sometimes I hate that you remember everything. Nia taps her head with her finger. One day, all the information stored in here could save your life. Knowledge is power, young one. Lyric laughs. Whatever. I just hope Z likes my present. Maybe I'll teach him a song today if he's up to it. Nia and I grimace. Lyric removes his harmonica from the front pocket of his worn jeans and kisses it. You're awesome, he says to the instrument. Have you seen Z? I ask. Lyric shakes his head. Not yet, and I stopped by a couple days ago, but his mom said he wasn't feeling too good. Do you think this party's a good idea? The locks on his door say maybe not. Nia tucks some braids behind her ears. I bet once he sees us, he'll be fine. We can make him forget about whatever happened. Lyric and I share a worried look. I hope she's right. We were hoping he might be able to start school once summer break is over. Now, I'm not so sure. Anybody want some ice cream? Lyric opens the top latch of a small portable cart placed near the food table. Sweet Dreams homemade ice cream. It'll make you scream. It's scrawled on the side of the cart in purple lettering. Underneath are peeling stickers displaying different types of treats. Popsicles, snow cones, push-up pops, drumsticks, and sundae cups. How many have you had already? I ask. Lyric's lips twist to the side. 2 or 3, maybe 4. Nia rolls her eyes and grabs a sundae cone cup. You want one? She asks me. Sure. She hands me a small ice cream cone. I sneak another peek at Z's house as I remove the wrapper. Inside, a door slams and muffled voices float out an open window. A shadow drifts across the backyard. I peer up at a black crow circling above. 2 more join in the bird merry-go-round. They dive low to land on Z's roof. Their heads twitch from side to side. Then their marbled eyes lock onto me. Caw, caw, a bird cries. I jump. The ice cream slips out of my hand. Bad luck! My gaze jerks to Nia. What? It's bad luck if you drop your ice cream and the cone hits the ground first, she says. The cone is crushed and melting ice cream pools around it. Lyric laughs. You just made that up. No, I didn't. I heard it somewhere. It's totally true. I try to shake off the uneasy vibe twisting my gut. My gaze travels around the backyard. The urge to leave is so strong, I have to lock my knees to keep from moving. Ooh, this is cool. Nia holds up a wrapper. Sweet Dreams has facts on their wrappers. Listen to this. Hide and seek may have originated from a Greek game called, she peers at the small paper, Apodidraskida. Apodidraskinda. Say what now? Lyric asks. Apodidraskinda. Apodidraskinda. I'll have to remember that, she says. She memorizes random information. It's her thing. She likes knowing stuff and learning, but she's allergic to school. Nia says that the lessons are boring and don't focus on subjects that she's interested in. Everything not taught in our classes. She goes blank during tests and forgets all the information. Her grades don't reflect how smart she is. Only a strict study schedule and academic plan designed by her parents saved her from repeating 5th grade. They're high school teachers with unrealistic expectations. Nia's words, not mine. What did your rapper say? Nia asks me. With a sigh, I kneel down and peel the wrapper off the melting chocolate. There is a hide-and-seek world championship held annually in Italy every summer. One year there were 70 teams. I toss the sticky paper in the trash and lick the chocolate off my fingers. Interesting, Lyric says. Sweet Dreams is out here dropping knowledge with their sugary goodness. Listen to this. He studies his popsicle wrapper. Hide and seek is the most popular kids' party game. Really? Nia's face scrunches into a frown. That can't be right. Lyric chews on his treat. His tongue and lips are blue. Maybe we could play when... Suddenly, the backyard fence door swings open and smacks the small table with Z's gifts. Lyric drops his treat and dives for the presents, but misses. Aw, man, I hope nothing's broken. What up, losers? A beastly voice asks. Starting the party without us? I groan. Forget a dropped ice cream cone. This is the real bad luck. End of Chapter 1. Chapter 2. Carla Jenkins and her twin brother Quincy stroll into the backyard. My mom used to say they weren't bad kids, only misunderstood. Most days, they're really misunderstood, especially Carla. Hey, Dumbo, she says to me. I roll my eyes. I have big ears. It used to bother me. Then Nia said that in some cultures, big ears mean good luck, and that you're a good listener. I'm not so sure about the luck part. When my mom was having really bad days, I would wiggle my ears and she'd laugh like it was the best thing ever. For a little while, she was happy. But then I slammed the door closed on those thoughts. I can't go there. It hurts too much. Carla swats a sagging streamer as she walks around. Is this it? She's in our grade, but people always think she's older. She's taller than all the other students at our school. Sometimes she has trouble sitting in the desks. Some welcome home party. This sucks, she says. It does now that you're here, Lyric mutters. He places the presents back on the table and moves so there's more space between him and Carla. Her head snaps around and she glares at Lyric. Seen your daddy lately? Or you gotta wait until visiting hours? Lyric stiffens like concrete is flowing through his veins. Overall, he's pretty chill about everything. But he has one button you don't push. The don't talk about my family button. Carla just stomped on it. Red blotches appear on his neck and spread to his pale face. He steps up to Carla. What did you say? Carla sticks her chin out. You heard me. This girl is acting all kinds of stupid. Lyric opens his mouth to say something, but Nia jumps between them and shoves Lyric back. His right eye twitches, and he never looks away from Carla, who smirks, flashing a crooked smile. Her mission to irritate is accomplished. Lyric, did you know that the most common types of bullying are verbal and social? Asks Nia. She's all talk. Don't let her get to you. Whatever. He wasn't going to do nothing, Carla says, popping a piece of candy into her big mouth. That wasn't nice, her younger brother Quincy says with a frown. He's smaller than Carla and not as annoying most days. She stares at him for a minute, then turns away to look for more treats. Why did Mrs. Murphy have to invite them? I reach for the puzzle piece in my pocket. I run my fingers along the edge of the frayed cardboard. After my mom died, I had to see a counselor because I had trouble dealing with everything going on. I missed her. I missed Z. And I felt too much at once. I hated the sessions at first because they didn't help. But after a few months, I learned how to handle stuff. I haven't had a real bad panic attack in a month. I'm not going to let them ruin my new record. The back door squeaks open. Mrs. Murphy exits, carrying a tray of bottled water and soda. Carla, Quincy, I didn't know you were here. She sets the drinks on the table. Yes, ma'am. We came in the back way. Carla smiles so sweet, I get a toothache. Nia rolls her eyes. Lyric coughs and Whisper shouts, posers. He's lounging in a chair, with his long legs outstretched. He looks relaxed, but I know better. The anger is still simmering in his blue eyes. I am glad you made it. Mrs. Murphy peeks over her shoulder. Z is almost ready. I exchange a glance with Nia. What's taken so long? Lyric pushes to his feet and walks toward the house. I can help. No, says Mrs. Murphy. We jump. She laughs nervously. Everything is under control. I just want all of you to have fun. How? Carla asks, with her hands on her hips. Why don't you all play a game until I send Z out? Mrs. Murphy says, her eyes pleading with me. I'm sure you can come up with something. I hold back a sigh. Yeah, we can figure it out. Thank you, Mrs. Murphy says. There's a loud crash from inside the house. I'll be right back. She hurries up the stairs and through the back door. Nia turns to me. Justin? What are we going to play? Quincy asks as he dances away from a large flying bug. His skinny arms rotate faster than blades on a fan. He swats the bug down to the ground and stomps on it till it's deader than dead. Hate bugs, he mumbles. I want to play dodgeball, blurts out Carla. Of course she does. The goal of the game is to hit someone. Hard. She was the captain of our school dodgeball team until she got kicked off for being too violent. No ball, Nia says. I knew that's stupid, Carla mutters. Nia's eyes narrow. She crosses her arms. Any fool can know. The point is to understand. Albert Einstein said that. Carla stares blankly. What? Exactly. Nia holds up her closed fist and then opens her hand. She drops the mic. Boom. I rub a hand over my mouth to hide my smile. She's awesome. You're still stupid, Carla mumbles. Remembering all that weird stuff doesn't make you smarter or better than me. What about freeze tag? Asks Quincy. No. Lyric shoves a hand through his wild hair. Red light, green light. How about hide and seek? A whiny voice suggests. We all spin around. Shay Davidson? Mrs. Murphy must have been desperate when she created this guest list. Sure, we all live in the same neighborhood, but we aren't friends. She's not welcome home party worthy for sure. Shay, Carla, and Quincy don't belong. When you force things that don't fit together, it ruins everything. Shay's lips twitch to form a smirk. Hi, everybody. Why am I being punished? Lyric mumbles with a groan. Shay's family has money. They're not rich or anything, but they have the nicest house and cars on our block, and their grass is always green and cut low. They act like they're better than the rest of the neighbors. What are you doing here? Carla asks, crossing her arms. I'm here for the party. Shay brushes past Quincy as she enters the backyard. Hi, Shay. He watches her, his eyes full of beating hearts. You look sparkly. I like your oomph. Carla elbows him in the side. Don't talk to her. Doubled over, Quincy mumbles, Sorry. Shay toys with the long brown braid coiled on top of her head. Hide and seek is the best, and we have enough people to play. Nia side-eyes me. Shay never plays with us. She doesn't like to get dirty, sweaty, or smelly. Her words. Sometimes she watches us, but always from a distance, and usually where there's shade. There's not that many places to hide, says Lyric. What if? Sounds good to me, Carla says, cracking her knuckles. Say what? I jerk my head toward her so fast I almost get whiplash. Not more than a second ago, she was shutting Shay down. Why? Carla shrugs. Not many choices since we don't have a ball. Justin? Nia says. Her expression's pained. Indigestion and nausea play tag in my stomach. Fine, whatever. Anything to get this over with. Who wants to be Seeker? Lyric asks. No one volunteers. I'll do it, I say with a heavy sigh. Shouldn't be too hard. It's going to be a foot race and I'm fast. Shay stands up straighter. Her attention is focused on me. I'm a bug under a microscope. Rules? Duh, says Carla with an eye roll. Same as always. If I tag you, you're out, I say. You can't reveal the hiding place of another player, can't hide inside a building or car, only hide in the set backyard area. You can't block home base from any player, no roughing up anybody, touching home base to be safe, and we have to finish the game. There has to be a clear winner. I've witnessed too many arguments and fights over games that were suspended because of darkness or pee breaks. We form a circle. I extend my arm. Lyric places his hand over mine, then Nia adds hers. Quincy and Carla are next. Finally, Shay's hand slowly falls on top of the pile. A static shock zips up my arm. My eyes dart around the group. They all have strange looks on their faces, like they felt something too. Well, everyone except Shay, who stares at Z's house with an odd smile. The rules are set. If you break them, you're out. I say mostly to Shay, since she doesn't seem to be paying attention. I don't want to hear any whining later about being confused. I wait for everyone to accept the rules and then lower my hand from the pile and flex my tingling fingers. I nod toward the large oak tree in the center of the backyard. That'll be our home base. Got it. Shay blinks rapidly, and for a moment her eyes are the color of midnight, and then they shift back to their normal green. I step back. An eerie sensation weaves its way through me. What's wrong? Nia says. Nothing. Just the sunlight. I'm seeing things. Let's do this, losers. Carla shoulder checks me as she strolls by. My mom used to say I shouldn't hate nouns, a person, place, or thing. Carla is a person. Does that mean I can't hate her? Because most days, I do. I give everyone a moment to strategize as I walk over to the lonely oak tree standing between the sagging back porch and the snack tables. Its limbs droop from heat exhaustion. I slide my hat around so the brim is facing the back, close my eyes, and rest my head on my folded arms. The rough bark makes small imprints in my skin. A bee buzzes around my head and the sound matches the odd static that fills my ears. I mentally shake myself and focus on the game. I went up the hill was muddy, stomped my toe and made it bloody. Should I wash it? I yell. Yes! The players shout from different locations as they search for hiding places. The hot wind pants through the trees, and dead leaves shower down upon me. I went up the hill was muddy, stomped my toe, made it bloody. Should I wash it? Yes! I recognize Carla's and Lyric's voices. They're still looking for a hiding spot. I went up the hill was muddy, stomped my toe, made it bloody. Should I wash it? The backyard is eerily silent. It's holding its breath. No responses. They're ready. I lift my head and slowly turn around. Brown brittle grass and wild weeds peekaboo out of the thirsty ground. Candy and ice cream wrappers chase each other like tumbleweeds. The hunt begins. I creep away from home base, my eyes skating across the backyard. Movement near the porch catches my attention. Carla. Somehow she's managed to squeeze herself into the small crawl space. A twig snaps under my foot as I prowl closer to tag her. The tablecloth flutters around the snack table. Nia rolls from underneath and races toward home base. I bolt forward and then skid to a halt. No chance. She smacks the tree and performs a few cheerleader high kicks. Safe, I'm first, so cool, I rule. With an eye roll, I walk toward Carla. Wedged in so tight, she'll be an easy out for sure. Shay's hiding behind the house, she yells. Hey, no fair, Nia cries. You can't. I stumble back as Shay slinks from behind the side of the house. She watches me with an unblinking stare. Her lips curl back over her teeth in a creepy smile. My skin crawls. What? Are you still playing? I ask. You have to touch the tree to be safe, remember? She doesn't respond and makes no move toward home base. Caw, caw. The crows burst from the treetops, blasting leaves into the air. I jump. Shay, what? Suddenly, the shed door flies open, slamming against the wall. Quincy rushes out, his eyes widen when he spots me so close. He recovers and scrambles for the tree. Get him, Justin, Nia cries. Don't you touch my brother. Carla scoots from underneath the porch on her stomach. She crawls to her feet, covered in dirt and cobwebs. I'll hurt you. With a growl, Lyric pops up from his hiding spot. You better not touch him, he says to Carla. My head whips back and forth. Shay, Carla, Quincy, Lyric. What is happening? It's chaos. Both of you are cheaters. Lyric races toward Quincy. Nia blocks Quincy's path with her arms extended so he can't get close to the tree. Lyric grabs his shirt and tugs him back. There's a struggle and they hit the ground, arms and legs tangled. With a loud growl, Carla charges towards me. My eyes widen. She lifts her fist and my short life flashes before my eyes. There's no dramatic music to match the action. Instead, I hear the happy jingle of an ice cream truck in the distance. Suddenly, she skids to a stop. Her jaw drops. I spin around. Z stands on the back porch. His glasses are heavily taped at the corners and slightly tilted on his thin face. His arms, Nia says shakily. Lines of jagged, puffy scratches are on both of Z's arms. The scars are shiny. A beam of sunlight hits them and they appear to glow. I gulp. Lyric jumps up and inhales a loud breath. What? He steps forward. We all fall back. Hi, Z, Shay waves. Miss me? No! You can't be here! How are you here? He shouts. My eyes shift back and forth between Shay and Z. What's going on? Z and Shay aren't real friends, but he'd never be this rude to her. He'd never kick her out of his party. I came to get what's mine. You wouldn't play, but your friends did, said Shay. Now I get everything I wanted. Isn't this fun? Z shakes so hard, I swear I hear his bones rattle. His eyes dart around our group before zeroing on me. What did you do? I didn't want this. You should have stayed away. My heart skips. Z? Out of the darkness, no more light. Now it comes to steal your life. On this day, you've sealed your fate by playing what it loves to hate. Once you're tagged, then you'll know The mark appears. Now it's your time to go, Z chants. Now you're in the final count. It's closer to the set amount. Whoa, Lyric says. Quincy shuffles back a few steps. What's wrong with him? He ain't right, says Carla. He came back wrong. Z's dazed eyes bob for apples. Up, down, up, down. Now the locks on his bedroom door make sense. Shay giggles, only it kind of comes out like a growl. This is so much fun. Hey, I say, stop messing with him. I won't let you do this. Leave us alone. He leaps off the porch and dashes toward us. Someone screams. We scatter like cockroaches in the light. All right, well, I had to read the second chapter to really hook people, and oh my gosh, it really hooked me. I can understand why this book I can't keep it in the library. I actually had to read from a sample on Sora. Anyhow, I do hope that you find out what happens in the rest of the book. I'm going to try to get a copy for it myself and do comment in the comment section about how much you enjoyed it if you do. Have a great Halloween, everybody. Wear a nice Halloween shirt. Happy. Take care.